Also, Kuzu Sangpola Universe, and welcome to the 9th episode of Mindfulness is Creativity. And today, I'm so happy to have Mike, my dear brother from Australia, who is in Bhutan on a very special mission. So today, in this session, we'll talk on creativity, of course.
Of course, absolutely.
Yes. So, Mike, before that, would you like to just say a little bit about yourself?
So, Mike from Australia, and I'm here with DSP and GovTech and DOT doing a little bit of astrotourism, teaching people how to look at the sky and understand the science behind it all.
Okay, that's great. And you know what, Mike? My mission as a creativity catalyst, I think I have to tell you, is to encourage my fellow Bhutanese and, of course, if, why not, even the whole world, to become more creative.
Yes.
And be a creativist, because that seems to be the now way forward.
It is. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yes. So now coming to that, I want to ask you, or rather request you, your specialization, I was told, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, seems to be in astrotourism or whatever you want to say. I want to see how you bring creativity into that particular subject, whatever you are trying to do.
Oh, wow, that's a big question.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of like the universe big. So for me,
Yes.
I think creativity can be for so many things when it comes to what I do in particular. It can be anything from how I interact with people to let them understand the universe. But deep down, the biggest creativity that I pull on every day has to be in my mind and visualize. So when I'm trying to explain something going around a black hole, my brain is there. The creative part of my brain is actually visualizing what's happening. So that's the best way for me to understand anyhow.
Wow, actually, you'll not believe me. My tagline is mindfulness is creativity. And you have just said, when you talk about creativity, it is all in your mind.
Yes.
My God, I just cannot believe that we are thinking so alike. And also, I also believe, while it is really a big subject, creativity, as you said, but then it can be also down to earth. As you said, the way, how you want to do something differently. Every day you are doing something, and next day or today you want to immediately think, maybe I should do something different. That is also creativity, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And I think when it comes to creativity, that allows you to go, for me anyhow, being adaptable is what I find the best way to succeed in life, whether it's doing business or whatever. But to be adaptable, you need to have creativity. Without that creativity, I can't adapt to the environment. I can't adapt to my students. I can't adapt to what my clients need. I need to be constantly coming up with creative, visionary ideas to succeed.
Okay, now coming to this, and also your profession, what you're trying to do. Now, do you think introducing astrotourism in Bhutan is a work of creativity?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then if I may ask, how did this idea come from?
So it was, I believe it was a big board meeting within the different government departments, and they were talking about Department of Tourism wanted something new, creative thinking, and someone brought up astrotourism, and a friend of mine that was in the table or at the table said, I know the right guy to do this if you want to do it, and he's got all the, experience, or the, once again, creative thinking, because I don't think normal. And I think anyone, if you want to succeed, especially doing something like I do, if you think inside the box, it won't work. If you think outside the box, it works.
Okay.
And then I got an invite to come over, and this is my 4th time in Bhutan.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so out of box, I think that is basically creativity, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Yes.
how you explain also. Now, if I may, just be very practical. I'm sure you must be doing this astrotourism before you came to Bhutan.
Yes.
I'm sure maybe this is not your first time. So I just wondering, what new elements of creativity did you bring when you are now doing astrotourism, trying to help Bhutan with the astrotourism here? What new elements did you add, actually, from the works that you have done in the past?
So this time in particular, it's normally when I travel the world and I do astrotourism, you have to pay respect to the local culture. But Bhutan's different. It's very, very connected with astrology. And I know a lot of people say astrology and astronomy don't agree.
Okay.
But if you think of it from a creative, practical experience and you sit down and you look at both, then you actually find connections. So we've been able to find the Buddhist cosmology, for example. We've been able to link that with science cosmology, and they don't fight. They literally is like two rivers running right next to each other. So thinking creative about approach, and instead of going, oh no, that's not the way to do it, you go, no, hold on a second. So I think for Bhutan, that's what I bring, is that creative mind going, how are these working together? They are not arguing with each other. They have to work. It's like, if I'm being creative for a minute and I do practical, I'm going to tell you what I've done with my students this time around. So this is how I explained astrology and astronomy in a creative way. Think of the universe as a coin, normal coin.
Okay.
On the coin, you have the heads and you have the tails.
Yeah.
Both of them are different perspectives, but it's the same coin.
Okay.
So as soon as I started to explain that, you could see the light bulbs in my students' eyes going, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, but we have to do it from a creative approach instead of just going, no, that's wrong or that's not right. It's like the universe is a coin and we have both sides. It's just a creative way of looking at it.
That's so interesting. And maybe finally, I just like to request you, because I've heard you talking to your other friends here in the group about your some kind of a magical or miracle experiences you had.
Yeah.
Just briefly, just one of them. I know you have more than one.
So I will probably share my most profound one if I can. And it was when I was at Leia, I went up for the Highland Festival and I got really, really sick, food poisoning. So I was in a very bad way. I had medication and it wasn't working. And I ended up taking the time to pray to the local deity. And I pretty much said, you know, as I'm kneeling on my bed, looking out the window, making a prayer, a big black bird came in front of the window and it didn't fly its wings. It literally just kind of hovered in the wind. And from that, I'm looking at this black bird and I'm taking off 2 of the rings that I had. And I stopped at one and I said, please take this ring. I will offer it to you. Help me, I can't do anything. And it was at around the time that we were supposed to meet His Majesty and do things for the public up there as well. So I was praying that I am so sick, I cannot keep doing this. So I put down the ring and I'm looking at the bird and I'm finishing off the prayer and a wave of nausea hit me. And I literally, thankfully, I was kneeling on the bed and not standing up because I just passed out. I fell straight asleep. I was asleep for 2 hours. I woke up. I was well, and not only well, I had all my energy back, but both of the rings and that I said to offer, both were gone, and we couldn't find them. We looked everywhere for these rings. The only thing is I said to the deity, take 1, not 2, but it took 2.
Okay.
But yeah, so I feel very connected to this land and I feel very connected to the protector deities. I'm not a Buddhist, to be honest, I'm not a Buddhist, but I think when you start to understand the universe, you realize that comprehending the universe and the belief of Buddhism are actually quite intertwined with each other. And I think that's another thing that I bring, is the fact that I understand that I am not Buddhist, but my understanding of the universe has allowed me to relate to what the belief is in this country.
Wow, that's such a beautiful, amazing story. Something that I think, especially we as a Bhutanese, very happy to hear that, because we also Bhutanese, we really believe in all this kind of mystical miracles and magical things. It's still happening.
Yep, it's
So,
real.
yes.
It's 100%
Okay.
for the listeners. It's real. The deities exist. Trust me, they do.
Okay, thank you so much, Mike. So, yes, my listeners, you must be a little bit confused, because when I talk about creativity and at the same time we talk about magic and miracles happening, but then at one point in time, of course, people look these two things as totally different, that they cannot come together, the magical, the miracles and the creativity. But now as we enter into this age of artificial intelligence, the robotics, the machine learning, I honestly believe magical, miracles and creativity can also now come back together. So with this, thank you so much, and see you all in our next episode. Thank you so much.